now recording.
Alright, mine's now recording. So I guess to sync it up, I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, and then you go 1, 2, 3. Okay?
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, I mean like, if I just put the two audio files on top of each other, they might be at like different
Okay.
points. So like,
Oh, that's
yeah.
that's
So
true.
I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, then you say 1, 2, 3. Okay?
At the same
No,
time, or
no.
like
I'm
right
gonna
after
say
each
1,
other.
2, 3. Then you say 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, we should be good now.
Okay. You should just put that all in. Just put everything before that in. Just might get pure
I
confusion.
know. Or you know what? I'll just put it like it would be funnier if you just put it in like halfway so people had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, that would
Or
be
just put it
pretty good.
as like the as a end credits thing or something.
A blooper.
A
Yeah.
blooper. If we're gonna do bloopers, we might as well
Yeah.
have just put the whole like 20-minute attempt at you trying to record in.
Yeah, true.
I wish I was recording my screen while that was happening and you got my commentary. That would have been funny.
I didn't even know I didn't even know there was such a thing as voice memos on iPhone. Oh shit, my phone just turned off. Okay, it stays
Yeah.
recording when my phone is locked. Okay, I was
Yeah.
like
No, don't
shit.
worry.
Do I have to tap my phone every 30
Nah,
seconds?
you can just turn it on after a while and then we'll just stop recording.
Okay.
Okay, so should we talk about how we met first?
Sure, yeah, that's an interesting story.
Okay, so I'll talk about my side first, and you can tell yours.
Well, well, should we introduce ourselves first? Like, do the people watching know who we
We'll do
are?
that after the story.
Okay.
Okay, so I was flying to from Connecticut to Portland, Oregon, for the Rubik's Cube National Championships and I forget where we had a connecting flight or wherever, but we ended.
It was in Georgia, I
Yeah, we had
think.
the same connecting flight in Georgia,
In Atlanta,
Atlanta,
yeah.
and I wanted to see if there's any other cubers on the flight. So I went and I sat down in a chair and I pulled out a Rubik's cube and I started solving. And like I got like halfway through one solve and then I turned around and looked at everybody sitting at the gate. And then it was just you sitting there in your Cubing USA jacket and you just like part of the jacket was covering the emblem. So you just pulled it back to show the emblem and we just sort of had this like 30 second head nod and then we just started talking.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. That was good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's anything else to the story.
No, then we just sat next to each other. I don't think we sat close to each other on the plane.
Yeah.
Oh, and we rode to the hotel together once we got to Portland.
Okay, so this was my first time traveling alone, so like as soon as we got off the plane, I was like, "Hey, you guys want to split a taxi?" Because I was like, I have no idea where I'm going.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was us, and there was like a bunch of other people too that went. I don't even know if they were cubers. I think they were, but they were just like a bunch of like smaller kids.
Yeah, I mean, it was a. I mean that nationals competition was really fun.
It was. Dude, fucking all of them are
Yeah,
really
I'm pretty sure
fun.
that's like, because pretty much like the full extent of what I saw you for that competition. I saw you much more at this year's nationals.
Yeah, we hung out a lot at this
Yeah,
nationals.
and
It was funny too because I walked in and you were like dead ass like the first person I saw when I walked in to the hotel, and you just looked at me like what, like you almost didn't recognize me because I had the beard that I didn't grow out
yeah,
the previous
yeah,
year.
I didn't. You looked completely different. Like I almost didn't
Oh,
recognize you
and
when we video called like right before this too.
oh yeah, it's all gone now. I realized after I got back from the competition that I should not have kept the beard for the
I
competition.
mean,
Like I should have made an attempt to look half decent at the
I
competition.
don't mind beards, but like you got to keep them short. I don't like long beards.
Yeah.
I
Well, the long beard was just kind of just freaked everyone out because a lot of these people I only see once a
oh
year,
yeah,
and even the people I go to, and yeah, and even the people I go to comps with regularly, like in my area in the Northeast, like I haven't been to many comps. I've been to like two comps in the whole year before that, so they haven't seen me that much. So I wanted to be a little surprising.
yeah. I mean, you were also like balding too, and you grew your hair out too. Which,
Yeah. Well, I'm still balding. It's
well,
just
yeah,
longer, so I can cover up the bald spots. Like it's so bad. I'm 19, and I look and feel washed up, and I am to a large extent. Kobe and I and Henry and I were talking about this. We're all washed up. I want to make, you know how there's Team USA like jackets, cubicle
Yeah.
jackets. I want to make Team Washed Up cubing
Like
jackets.
for anyone that doesn't know, the cubicle jackets in cubing, there's a store, the cubicle.us, and when they sponsor people, they send them out white jackets and it has a cubicle logo right on the left front chest, and then on the back it has your name and the flag of your nationality. Now, I also didn't tell you this yet, but I made a team jacket. I only made one though for me. Do you want to hear what it is?
What? Oh, I would love to hear what it is.
So a while ago, me and a mutual friend of ours, Eric Zhao, uh, were talking about flags from just like around the world and like the coolest flags. And Eric just pulls up this flag and he goes, "This is a monstrosity," and it was, it was the
That's exactly what you would
yeah,
say.
it was the flag of Milwaukee. And so I saw the flag, and I was just like, "Man, this thing is ugly." But like, flash forward like a few weeks or so, someone has a petition to make a different flag for Milwaukee. So I have
Uh-huh.
the unofficial official flag of Milwaukee for Team Milwaukee. And then on the left front chest, I stole a different cubing logo and I just changed some of the colors to fit the Milwaukee flag. Like it's really like, to tell you the truth, if you look up the new Milwaukee flag, it's beautiful. It's like a yellow sunset with a white sun, with a blue ocean,
Uh-huh.
with like little tiny blue stripes. Like I'll probably leave, I'll leave links to like a whole bunch of different pictures in the description of like the cubicle jackets and like the shirts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's just a really funny jacket. Also, it has my name on it, so yeah.
People ask, "What team are you on?" You can say, "Yeah, I'm on that team," and I'm on the only one.
You wanna
on
know
that
the best
team,
part about
for
it,
that
though?
matter.
I'm the only one
What?
on the team, and I'm not even from Milwaukee.
Yeah, you're not. I was gonna say you live in
I
Connecticut.
live
You
in Connecticut. Like I live nowhere near Milwaukee, and I'm like,
What surprises what surprises me the most about that story is I didn't know cities had their own flags. I know countries have their own flags. I know states in the United States have their own flags, but cities have their
well,
own
have you ever
flags.
seen
I'm
the
from
the flag of Tokyo? Have you ever seen that?
maybe if I saw it I'd recognize it. I know
The
maybe.
the flag of Tokyo has a purple background and has a
Oh,
very like
I already don't know it.
it's a
Yeah.
very simplistic like white ship steering wheel, if that's what you call it,
Uh
design to it.
I maybe that might seems kind of familiar now that I think
I
about
mean,
it.
it's a pretty cool design. I mean, like, I think only like major cities have flags, like New York City and stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm from Philly. I'd consider that a major city, and I do not know if we even have a
I live
flag.
in
I'm
I
gonna
live in the
Google it.
middle of nowhere. Like, again, when I was talking to Eric Zhao, our friend, he lives in New York City, and we were talking, and he couldn't comprehend how like rural I live.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
He goes, so how far do you have to go to get to the nearest McDonald's? I'm like 10 minutes away from McDonald's, and Eric's like, you have to walk 10 minutes to McDonald's? I'm like, no, I have to drive 10 minutes to McDonald's. And that just blew his mind. He could not fathom somebody having to drive 10 miles to get to McDonald's.
That's so spoiled.
I know.
He lives living in the
It's like
city.
the also thing about the lights with Eric. Because when I was traveling with Eric on a trip, uh,
Uh-huh.
the thing that you need to know is that Eric's a horrible driver. So while we were driving one time in Houston, it became night, and Eric's car that he uses in New York City, it's a really nice car, and the lights turn on automatically. But not all cars do that. So while we were driving in Houston with a rental car, when it was night, he didn't put the lights on. So a police officer drove up right next to us, like basically on a ramp going onto the highway. He's like, "Sir, you have to put your lights on." And Eric's like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'll do that right now." He goes to hit a switch, turns on the windshield wipers, fluid starts spraying everywhere, and I've never seen a car just nonstop spray windshield wiper fluid. And it got to the point where there was so much windshield wiper fluid that it was flinging it off the car like rain, and it was getting onto the police officer's car. So
Oh my
the police
gosh.
officer's just like we're going at like 5 miles an hour, and the whole time Eric's having this freak out. He's like, "How do I turn on the lights? How do I turn on the lights?" This whole time, this police officer is right next to us in the car, watching it happen, waiting for Eric to turn his lights on, and we're just praying that he doesn't give Eric a ticket. Like,
Oh, that would have been
yeah,
bad.
no, I mean,
That was
you can say whatever.
no. I was gonna say you were just at. That wasn't. That happened before Southern Champs, right? That was at a
Yeah, that was
different
at a
comp.
different competition. That was
Yeah, that's right. Because you told me that story
Don't mess with
before.
Texas.
Don't mess.
Yeah,
Okay,
no.
that's so weird. Because I remember all these comps popped up. I didn't know Eric was the one organizing these comps like all over the
Yeah, so
country.
also if you don't know, Eric Zhao owns a cubing store, Cube Depot USA, and he likes to go to competitions in Bend. And I occasionally go out to competitions with him in Bend. And I'll tell you what, it is one of the most frustrating and enjoyable experiences of my life, getting to travel with Eric. And
To to be honest, I would totally do it. Like just to go to comps and Ven. Like
uh,
I think it'd be
oh, I
worth it.
cannot wait to hear those cubing sounds.
What? Oh, you hear it?
Yeah, oh yeah. It's,
I just picked up a cube with one hand and just kind of started turning. That's like it's like just a habit for me.
I mean, I do it too, so don't worry. But like,
Okay.
that'll be a fun like little background treat.
Yeah. Holy shit. So this everything we've talked about so far has stemmed from the our how we met the plane story,
Oh
right?
yeah, well, basically just cubing in general.
So yeah. Well, in which case we should probably introduce ourselves because we said we were going to do that after the plane story.
I mean, okay, yeah. Do you want to go first?
Sure, yeah. My name is Joey Stahl. I'm from the Philadelphia suburbs in Pennsylvania.
My name is Connor. I'm from the middle of nowhere, Connecticut.
The middle of nowhere.
Uh, no, I'm in the northwest corner of Connecticut, so I'm like 5 minutes away from New York, and I'm 10 minutes away from Massachusetts. I'm also right in
Okay.
between Boston and New York City. It takes me 2 hours to get to either one.
That's not bad, I
No, because
guess.
like then I can go to both New York and Boston competitions for Rubik's cubes.
Yeah.
So like that's
That's
amazing.
Yeah, I'm kind of in a similar situation to where I'm in Philly, and there hasn't been any Philly comps. There will be soon though, because Brandon Lynn and Dana Yee both go to Penn, and I go to University of the Sciences, which is right next to Penn. So maybe if we didn't have a stupid 200-kilometer rule, we could have more comps in Philly. But that's besides the point. I can go south to Maryland
Yeah.
competitions, and even to Virginia competitions if I wanted to, and I can also go to New Jersey and New York competitions. I'm like right in the middle, so it's very
We should
convenient.
also explain the 200-kilometer rule.
Yeah, which is
I got it.
dumb.
So, the people who run WCA competitions, the WCA being the World Cube Association, can only hold a competition once a month in a 200 kilometer radius. And the problem with this is that really big cubing areas like Boston and New York will hold a competition, and then everyone 200 kilometers within that area can't hold a competition for a month. Which is actually really nice because, I mean, the whole system sucks. But I mean, it's really nice for me because I'm going to the University of Hartford, which is in Connecticut. And Hartford is right in between the 200 kilometer radiuses of New York City and Boston. So I could hold a competition there. Uh,
That's so
yeah,
convenient.
I know. Like, it just barely fits in, and it's amazing.
We should probably explain to our non-European American listeners how much 200 kilometers is in miles.
Oh,
It's like what? It's like 120, 130 miles or whatever.
I can look up the actual conversion rate. I mean, it's a lot. Like, it's a significant amount. I mean, the reason is like in Europe,
Yeah.
200 kilometers, you're basically in another country.
Yeah. No, like the rule, I understand the rule makes sense, but like they should be a little bit more lenient with it, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
because it makes sense because you can't just farm competitions and have just like thousands of events like every weekend, because then you can kind of just like farm world records for your country or your city or
Yeah.
whatever.
So,
So like it makes sense, but the cubing community is growing so much to where we need to be a little less restrictive with it.
so 200 kilometers is 124 miles, a little bit over. But the
Okay.
also thing that you have to remember is like the United States has the most cubers of any country. Like, yeah, we have like
Really?
15,000 cubers, and like
Oh
worldwide,
wow.
there's like over 75, I think, registered
Okay.
cubers. Yeah.
Registered, yeah.
So when you're looking at that, like the next biggest country is China, and I think
Okay.
the last time that I checked, uh, they had only like 6,000 people.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, also
Wow.
the other thing that you have to remember is, like China, a lot of their population is like rural people, and like they only
Yeah.
hold competitions in the country. So their population that like could compete in Rubik's cubes isn't a billion. It's probably smaller than the amount in the United States.
Right.
Uh, where is most competitors? Yep. So most currently there are 75,639 registered cubers. In the United States, there's 15,202 registered cubers. In China, there's 10,692. So it's a little bit higher than I remember.
Okay.
But when you look at that, like, if you look at the top two countries, the USA and China, that's a third of the cubing community right there. And
Wow.
I mean, China and United States are both relatively big countries,
Yeah.
but uh, they have so many more people that the 200-kilometer rule just completely kills us.
Yeah.
And like, even if you start like climbing down, the next two countries are India at 7,000, yeah,
That makes
72.
sense.
Brazil at 3,081 because Brazil is over 200 million, and then
Yeah.
Canada at 2,973. Those are all big cubing countries. But do you want to guess
Hmm.
what the next biggest is? It's kind of surprising.
After Canada,
Yeah.
you mean? Um, I have no idea. Poland?
Oh yeah, it's
Australia?
Poland.
It's
Yeah, it's
Poland?
Poland.
Really? Wow. I was gonna say because they've comps like they have like three comps like every
I
weekend.
know. It's amazing how many people there are in Poland that cube.
Yeah, it's
I
insane.
mean, and it's not even like I like you would think that would be if like the Rubik's cube originated in that country, but it didn't.
It didn't.
Like that's insane.
So, so I wonder why it is so big in Poland.
I don't know. I also like we should probably mention like when you
There hasn't been any like really high profile Polish cubers like early on in cubing, has there been?
I think
Not that I know of.
a lot of them are newer.
Yeah, like the Scube people.
Yeah. And I mean if you look at it like I'm pretty sure the country that dominates world records in cubing is Australia.
Well,
Well, yeah, because
obviously.
Felix
Wait,
Zemdegs
the United States. Yeah, and the United States.
is probably second.
Uh,
I mean,
yeah,
right now I'll count them up quick. Australia has one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that it? 10? Has 10 world records.
does Felix also have 10 world records?
Yes.
Are any of those
None
J's?
are J's. I don't think. Has
Oh,
Jay ever.
he had he had Scube world
Oh,
record at some
yeah.
point. I think I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that. I don't
3,
remember
4, 5, 6, 7. The United States holds 7 world records
at the
at
moment.
the
Or
moment.
yeah,
Uh,
holy shit, which ones?
the United States holds 2 by 2 average, 3
That's
by 3
right.
blindfolded average by Ishan,
That's right. Isan.
which is a
Yeah.
great guy. Uh, Max
Yes.
Park for 3 by 3 one handed.
One-handed. Yeah.
This one's a bit. I wouldn't say controversial, but I wouldn't like necessarily give it to the United States. 3 by 3
Hmm.
fewest moves is held by 3 people that all have a 19 move solution.
Oh, so it's the
Yeah, it's the
tied.
tied one.
Yeah, it's tied between Tim and Marcel and the other one.
Yeah, the guy from Belarus.
The one that's totally legit.
Oh, is there a controversy about that?
I actually don't know. I remember going to his page. I don't know what his name is, but I
Yeah,
don't think he has a. I don't think his other results would indicate that he could get a 19. It's completely possible
no.
though because I average like low 30s. I have a 20 single,
Yeah.
so
Officially?
it's entirely possible. No,
Oh,
no,
I
no,
was
not
about to say
officially.
Dan.
At home, I have like a 20. I have like a couple 22s, like a couple
Oh yeah, we should
24s.
also explain to
Yeah.
anybody that's not a cuber. Uh, Fewest Moves is a competition where they give you a scramble for a Rubik's cube, and you have to try to solve it in the fewest moves that you can. And
And it's the most fun event.
debatable, but
Oh, it totally is.
basically you get an hour to try to do it, and uh, what's the number? Is it called God's number?
God, God's number is
God's
20.
yeah.
Every single legitimate Rubik's Cube scramble can be solved in at most 20 moves. It doesn't mean everyone. Yeah, no, everyone can be solved in 20
Or
moves,
less.
but most of them can be solved in fewer than 20 moves. 20
Yeah.
moves actually accounts for a very small percentage of number of scrambles that can be
Yeah.
solved in actually 20 moves.
And so the thing that you have to remember is that when you look at that number, that's the ideal solution for a cube. You have to get every single move right to get God's number, basically. But the official is 19 moves, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, because WCA scrambles have to be what, at least 13 moves away from being solved.
Oh, I have no idea.
Anyways, since every solve can't be 20 moves away, the WCA has a limit on how low the move count can be for a Rubik's Cube. So basically, these three guys were given a scramble between whatever the WCA standard is, I think it's 13, and 20 moves for an ideal solution. And these three guys all got 19 moves for a solve, which is incredible.
It is, but I really doubt that those are optimal. If I'm not mistaken, it's either 17 and 18 or 18 and 19 account for like 2/3. Maybe it's just 18. I think the majority,
Yeah.
like the peak, is 18 moves. So I would not be surprised if 19, or I wouldn't be surprised at all. I'm pretty sure they're not. 19 was not the optimal solution
Yeah.
for those scrambles. And I think you're way more likely to get like a 20. It may have happened before, but 20 accounts for such a small percentage. You're way more likely to be able to find a 13 move solution if that is the lower limit for WCA scrambles than you are to get a scramble that cannot be solved in less than
Oh,
20
also,
moves. Like it's way more
also
likely
fun fact: looking at
from what
looking
I
at the
know.
records page, Poland has more world records than China.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Well, what world records does China has clock, and I think China had 7x7 briefly, like on and off over the past couple of years.
Yeah, I mean Felix pretty much has it on lock now, but
Yeah.
China has 5x5 and 4x4 blind. They have
Oh, that's
they have
right.
Rubik's
That's right.
clock average, which shouldn't be an event.
Oh, clock's okay.
Uh,
It's not
yeah.
bad.
so that's all that China has for world records, or just those three.
I completely forgot about the big blind events that Kai Jun Lin has.
Yeah,
them,
I hope
think.
that's how you pronounce his name. I mean,
Yeah.
he's also crazy
Yeah.
at those. But
Yeah.
Poland has cube single. There's two people that have average, but I counted them.
Oh,
yeah,
that's right. That's
I counted
right.
them as one though. And then they have 3x3 blindfolded, and they have 3x3 with feet single and average, which
That's right.
yeah, or multi blind. Sorry, not blindfolded. They have multi blind.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Multi-blind.
so like just looking at this, and then Germany has a lot of world records too, especially like 4x4 average, fewest moves single and average. I think that's about it for Germany.
And Germany won Nations Cup, right?
Yeah, they did. Like also,
I was kind of like it does and it doesn't surprise
Okay.
me, like because their team was really good.
all right. So I think that we should talk a quick second about the world championship, because there was a big
Okay.
upset in 3x3.
Oh,
So
that's right.
for those of you who don't know,
I don't know if I would call it a upset.
I mean,
I guess I get. Yeah.
I mean, to tell you the truth,
you can. Yeah, you can go.
Okay.
On. Yeah.
so right now, I think it's pretty undeniable the number one cuber in the world is Felix Zemdegs, in terms of 2x2 through 7x7, and one-handed, the standard events, right?
Right.
He's undeniably the best in the world at those. He has 10 world records in those events.
Yeah.
Now, for 3x3, he holds single and average for world record. And
Mm-hmm.
to tell you how far ahead Felix is for 3x3, his current 3x3 average world record is 5.97 seconds. The closest person to him is Max Park of the United States at 6.39 seconds. So Max Park is over four tenths of a second slower. And then I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Who
What?
came in second at Worlds? His name? How do you pronounce it?
Oh my gosh, I don't remember who came in
It's
second.
Seung.
Oh, it's Young
Yeah,
Hook
okay,
Nam.
I do pronounce it right. And then Seung Ha.
Yeah.
Nah, I tried. I tried. He has a 6.47 average.
I forgot how fast he
Yeah.
was,
So
but
so basically
yeah,
nobody
continue.
is touching Felix for 3x3
Mm-hmm.
average. Nobody. Like,
Yeah.
and to tell you the truth, there's only 7 people that have a sub 7 average for 3x3. So,
Yes.
I mean, realistically, I would say all those guys have a chance of getting a sub 6 average. But Felix is just too good at 3x3, I think.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
you, but to be honest, I'm not surprised that Felix didn't do as well in the finals as Max
Well,
did.
the thing that I'm not surprised about isn't that Felix didn't
Di-
win, it's that he didn't podium.
or that he didn't podium. Yeah,
Yeah, like looking at his average, Felix has been what? He's been number 1 for in the world at average before Max Park beat him a few months ago. He was number 1
like
for
briefly.
for
Yeah.
for years. No one touched him, and
Mm-hmm.
then Max Park briefly beat him, and then Felix immediately took it back, destroying his average. Now, like when you look at it, it's kind of it's kind of hard to think that somebody like that would come in fourth at Worlds.
Yeah, true. I guess you can call that an upset. I was confused when you said an upset because I wouldn't call Max Park beating
No, no,
Felix
no,
an
not
upset.
that.
But I guess to say that Felix didn't podium,
Yeah,
I guess you could
I
say
wasn't
that is
trying to
an
take
upset.
anything from
Yes.
Max Park because Max Park is
Okay.
also the U.S. national champion. And to tell you how good Max Park is at 3x3, at U.S. Nationals, Max Park did 20 official solves for 3x3. Out of those 20 official solves, one was a DNF, which means that he did not finish his solve because of regulation. And then one solve was an 8-second something solve. Every other solve was 7 seconds or less, which is insane.
That is
And
insane.
like,
I get a 7 second solve like once every 200
yeah,
solves.
like I get a 7 second solve like once. Yeah, I
Once
got a
ever.
7.36. It was a 28 move solution LL skip, which is the
Oh
last
my
layer
god.
skip. Uh, but like, also there was a whole bunch of controversy surrounding
The
the
timers.
timers. So if you don't know, in cubing, we use SACMAC timers, which are hand sensor timers. You put your hands down, and when you take them off, the timer starts, and when you put your hands back down in the timer, they start. Now, I'm just gonna call him Nam.
I think that's what he goes by in
Okay.
Korea. Like I think that's how their names work.
So I don't know
Anyways.
exactly. To my knowledge, Nam got a timer reset on one of his solves, and it was a DNF. Correct?
I think he got no. Usually it would be a DNF at any other comp, but I guess since this was a special occasion, they gave him an extra scramble, and he got like an 8 on it or something.
So he
like
did. Okay.
that. Yeah, an 8 second solve so slow. I only get an 8 second solve like
Yeah.
twice every average of 100.
I mean, to tell you the truth, like for top solvers, 8 seconds.
Is bad.
I wouldn't say
for
it's
them,
bad.
at
I
least.
would say if you got like an 801.
It's
eh.
disappointing.
Yeah, for the top
Yeah.
top solvers in the world. I mean, we're talking about.
Like if you get a counting 8, it's over.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Unless your other counting times are like low 6s or
Yeah, no.
5s. or
I would
something
say
like
if you had a counting 8, it's definitely horrible. But if you have an 8 in your average, if
Yeah.
it's your slowest time, you're pretty much fine.
Yeah.
Which, if you don't know, the averages in the WCA are 5 solves. They take away the fastest move and the slowest move. So having an 8-second solve doesn't really hurt you as long as you don't do bad with the other solves. But having a super fast solve doesn't help you unless you're consistently fast. So, I mean, it sucks that that happened to Nam, because what would his, does anybody know what his solve would have been?
Oh, it was a low
Oh,
six. The one where the timer reset, it was like a 6.1 or
so would
so.
he have definitely won if it didn't happen?
It costed him
Yeah.
the title.
Has there ever been a world championship in recent memory that didn't end in controversy?
Not from what I remember. In 2013,
Yeah.
it's not really controversy, but Matt's plus two out
Oh
of the
yeah,
title.
I shouldn't say controversy. Just like
Yeah, and ended where it could have ended differently if not
yeah.
for a malfunction or a regulation.
Basically, I mean, we can be honest.
Yeah. In 2013, Matt's plus two out of the
By any
title.
definition, if you solved a Rubik's cube and you were one move off, most people would say that you solved the Rubik's cube. And the
Yeah,
W's, yeah,
because you can hand that cube
and
to
they could solve
anybody
it.
and they could solve it.
Uh,
So it's still considered. It shows that you had intent to
in the
solve it.
WCA, though, if you have a solve that is one move away, they give you a 2-second penalty. Which, when you think about it, it takes you what, probably less than a tenth of a second to do that move. So it's a
Yeah.
really bad penalty, or really bad in the
Hmm.
sense that it hurts your time bad. The thing that's really unfortunate, but it should definitely be a rule. I understand why it's a rule, and I don't debate that it shouldn't be a rule. But
Yeah.
if your layer is misaligned by more than 45 degrees, then it's considered one move away from being solved. So it's a +2. That's what happened to Mats, which is very unfortunate in the finals of a world championship. And
Yeah.
that also cost him the title, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. From the best of my knowledge, yeah.
Yeah. And oh yeah, but also the other upset is uh Felix normally wins like 8 different events. Or not 8 different events. He normally
Yeah.
wins like a
Well,
bunch of events. And at this
yeah.
year's World Championship, he only won what, 2 championships?
Oh, I don't even know. He lost it. I know Kevin won 6x6. He might have. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't. Did he win 5x5? I
He
think he
won
won
5x5 and
5x5.
7x7. Those are the only
Who won?
or what?
Did, who won OH?
Max Park.
Max
Yeah.
did. Okay.
So to give some background, at the 2017 World Championship, Felix only won 5x5 and 7x7. Back in 2015, Felix won the Rubik's Cube 3x3, 2x2, 4x4, 5x5, one-handed. He came in second for 6x6, 7x7, and Megaminx. So he came in first or second in 8 different events at the 2015 World Championship. In this year's, he only came in first or second in 5 different events, and he podiumed in 4x4. Like, that's crazy.
It is. But at the same time, I feel like since 2015, a lot more people have been catching up in a sense.
Yeah.
And also, Worlds 2015 was in Brazil, which is a lot more remote.
Yeah.
Brazil wasn't as developed as it is now with the Cuban
Yeah.
community. And so a lot of people, I actually don't remember, but I don't think as many people like actually went that could compete with Felix in these
I
events.
mean, we should also mention
I think there was.
that another surprising thing is that he came in second for 6x6, which recently Felix has been doing amazing at 6x6. That was a huge upset
Yeah.
because he's broken
Yeah.
the world record, what, like twice in the span of a month for single and average.
Something like that.
And
Yeah.
the closest person to him is what, off by like 5, 6, 7 seconds on average, which is a big difference for big cubes.
Parody.
I mean, well, yeah, parity, but like even then, like it's still a huge difference. The top people can execute
Yeah,
parity
yeah.
in like a couple, like probably a second, second and a half. Parity doesn't make a huge difference, like 6 or 7 second difference. Like on single, Felix Zemdegs beats Kevin Hayes by 9 seconds, over 9 seconds. For average, he beats Kevin Hayes by a little bit under 7 seconds. which is a
Wow.
huge difference. I mean, granted, once you start climbing down the ranks in 6x6, the next fastest person to Kevin is 9 seconds away, and then you start getting like consistent like off by 1 or 2 seconds. But
Uh,
when you look at it, there's only like one person that can really compete with Felix in 6x6, and he's so far behind right now, which is
I think
amazing.
I think his official times don't reflect his what he actually averages though
I
at home.
mean, I would say that.
To the best of my
I
knowledge,
would
at
say
least.
that, but the only thing is he's gotten those world records so close together. I
Uh,
mean, like you'd have to be you'd have to be decently consistent at getting times like that.
oh, I was talking
Oh
about
yeah,
Kevin.
Kevin's not. Okay, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And like uh, Kevin did like tons of competitions this summer, and he couldn't beat it.
Yeah.
He did. I ran into him at I think 3 competitions in a row, like 3 weeks in a row.
Wow.
Yeah, a competition out in San Jose, a competition in Boston, and then nationals. Like 3 weekends in a row. But
And he didn't manage to get any spectacular 6x6
he did. He got
accomplishments.
world record at Lexington, but it was basically broken in like a week by Kevin, or by Felix. I
Uh,
mean,
but I feel
and
like,
Felix destroyed it. Like he got that like
oh
127,
yeah,
or he got originally he got a 128 mean and destroyed it.
uh-huh.
Like it's insane to think about that we're almost at a sub 120 single for 6x6.
What fucked me up was the 5x5 single, 38 seconds. That's my official 4x4 single.
Yeah,
I'm 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 at the point where my goal is just to be as good as n plus one. Like my 4x4 to be good as the best 5x5, my 5x5 to be as good as the best
yeah, I know.
6x6, and stay below that.
Like my two favorite events are 6x6 and 7x7.
I actually really like 6x6, by the way, for the
Okay,
record.
a lot of people don't. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I mean, it's probably just because the hardware isn't good.
It's very hard. It's very once I've had good 6x6
Yeah.
hardware for a pretty long time, and so I like 6x6.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about a 6x6 is anybody can go out and buy a good 3x3, 5x5, or 7x7, but you have to make a good 6x6.
And I'm not that great at making good cubes.
I mean,
It's a miracle when I make a good cube nowadays.
same, but I mean since 6x6 is my main event, like that's the only thing that I can set up properly. So
Uh-huh. I've just given up trying to set up 3x3s. I just buy pre-made 3x3s now. I don't really buy new cubes that much anymore, but when I do, I think I'm just gonna start buying pre-made
I mean,
cubes.
I honestly don't switch my cubes out that much. The only cubes that I switch out like on a regular basis are 6x6 and 7x7. But it's only like when a new cube comes out, and a new cube doesn't come out in those events like uh, every 6 months.
I've been waiting for a new 7x7 because I still use a bad cubic outfit.
Ah,
I don't want to buy a Wuji
buy it.
because they break. They break though.
I mean,
And with my luck, I would put the order in like tomorrow, and Moyu would be like, "We're making a new 7x7," like the
no,
next
okay.
day, or Chi would, or whatever.
To tell
the
you the
company
truth,
is.
the cube manufacturers post like months in advance before they release a new cube.
They
So
do,
like
yeah.
even if you bought one and it
I
came
thought,
out like they announced a new one, it wouldn't be out for like 3 months. So I mean, it's
yeah.
still kind of worth the investment. Oh,
I don't know about that, just because
uh,
buying more than one 7x7 in less than a couple months is still a lot,
dude, I have.
especially for
Do you
me.
know how many 6x6s I own?
How
Take a
many?
guess.
8
I have
or
10.
9. You have tens. I was gonna say 10, but then I thought, no, that's way too
Guess how many
much.
7x7s I have?
10, 6. How many?
I'm
That's so dumb. I do that all the time. People say like guess, and I just ask right away. I don't even guess. I'll guess you have seven by sevens.
I'm counting them. I have 6.
You have
Yeah.
6. Okay. Honestly, I might actually be pretty close. Well, I've been cubing for a long time. I'm gonna take a quick detour to my cube shelf just so I can get a good count. Hold
Yeah.
up.
So while he's gone, I'll just entertain you with my voluptuous voice as I continue speaking, as I wait for Joey to return. This totally isn't awkward in any kind of way. Hopefully, Joey isn't still wearing his headphones. And he didn't hear any of that. Did you hear
Okay.
any of that? Okay.
No, I'm back.
You'll have to go back and hear it.
Okay.
It's not
Anyways.
it's not that great, but it's not
What?
that great, but
Okay. Anyways, yeah, I have 4 6x6s and 5 7x7s.
yeah.
That's because I've been cubing for a long.
Yeah,
ass
how long
time.
have you been cubing?
I've been. Okay, so I've been cubing since way before V cubes came out. I've been cubing. I cubed like before 6x6 and 7x7 were
Give
even
us a year.
thing. I went to nationals in 2010, and I was already kind of an experienced cuber by then. Not experienced as in fast, but experienced as in I owned a lot of cubes, and I was like I knew about the community.
Yeah,
you know
I
what
get
I mean?
you.
I was one of those dumbasses who didn't compete though. I was like, oh, I'm too slow to compete. And even then, I was like a 30-second solver. And in 2010, 30 seconds, like it still sucks, but it wasn't horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible, but like you know what I mean. I should have competed.
Yeah.
And then I waited till 2013 to actually compete at a competition like a dumbass. I really regret not going and competing at competitions
The
before
thing
that.
the thing that I regret is not starting when I was younger.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I started when I was younger, but most of the skills that I've picked up have been ever since I started competing.
Yeah.
Like my first competition, I think I got like a 21 or 22 or whatever, like a little bit above 22nd average.
I mean,
and so most of my skills have been ever since I've been
I
competing.
should also mention that generally cubing takes a really long time to get fast at, like to get sub 10 seconds.
Not nowadays. Holy shit. There are people I've never heard of and
Well,
they're
okay.
sub 10. People started cubing like a year ago and they're sub 10
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
It's
But
insane.
for
Because they're coming into the community with like magnetized like Moyu Weilong GTS. I started cubing. I was using like Type F and Type A.
yeah, no, I mean when I started cubing, I was still using like cubes that are still relevant today.
That's
but, like-
insane. Yeah.
But no, but like I was saying, like most people don't immediately get sub 10 in a year. Those are people that hard drill
Yeah.
it, and when they do that, they spend a lot of time in that 1 year getting fast.
They
But
do.
what I mean
Yeah.
is, it's like to get fast at cubing, it's a very time demanding activity. And
Yeah.
when you start in your later years, I started in high school. You don't have a super large amount of free time. You have a decent amount,
Uh-huh.
but
You still have a decent amount because I didn't go hard with cubing until high school.
I mean, I should
decent
also
amount of
mention
time.
that. I mean, I went
It depends on what you
I went
do.
pretty
I didn't do
hard
that much
my
in high school.
freshman and sophomore year of high school, but during
Yeah.
my junior and senior year, I did my normal classes. So I was at school from I don't know 7 to 3 is like when I left and when I got
Yeah.
home. And then on top of that, I did homework and projects because I was also in a whole bunch of honors classes. And then
Well, I was in a bunch of honors classes too. I only ever took one
Yeah.
AP class because I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do it, and then I got like an A in the AP
Yeah.
class. I'm like, wow,
I
I'm
took-
a dumbass. So I honestly should have pushed myself more, but even on top of all that, like I don't think it's that hard to fit.
no,
cubing
but I
into
mean,
your
like, here's the
schedule.
other thing. It's so for me, that's already taking up most of my time. But I still have a bunch of
Yeah.
free time. But then I started doing college classes where I did,
Oh, okay.
I did those during the
Okay.
night. But if I wasn't doing college classes, I would have done some sport or something. So like,
Sports.
yeah, I mean, like I like lacrosse, but I just
Okay. No, I giggled because I was so bad at sports.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I was a football player, when I was younger. Like I played
Yeah,
football, and then when I got to the school level, I stopped for some reasons because I
I
hated
hate football
football and a
too.
couple other things. I hate playing football, and I was
Yeah,
good at it. All right, so like I sucked. I sucked at baseball. I sucked at soccer. Basketball, I was okay at. You can see
yeah.
my Skype name. I like basketball's my favorite sport.
It's like ball or something.
But basketball, I was, yeah, Mr.
Yeah,
Street Ball.
Mr.
We don't talk about that name anymore. That was like my old
Oh my
old
god,
name.
we just
I
mentioned
started
that, and
cute.
like, what if some people just guess the numbers that are right after it and they get your Skype?
Uh, I don't give a
Okay.
fuck, honestly. I don't care. I don't. This is the first time I've logged into Skype in like
Okay,
two
continue.
years. But yeah, I made my YouTube channel around the same time I started cubing. My YouTube channel was originally it was not anymore, but originally was the same as my Skype name. And I started like I knew how to solve the cubes ever since. Oh my god, it must have been like 2008. It must have been like 2007 or 2008. I was in elementary school and I'm 19 now.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted, but that's
I remember when Eric Ackersteig was the best of the
yeah,
best.
but that's like just what I'm trying to say. It's like high school, and then especially the later part of high school is a very busy time for most people. And
Oh, it was
you have a
horrible.
bunch of free time. Don't get me wrong, but you don't have.
Oh, you have a ton of free time. At least
Yeah.
I did. Like towards like the end of your senior year.
I did too, but
But
I
like,
spent a lot of that working
but like
trying to save up money.
that's because you're smart. I'm not.
Yeah.
Speaking of working, we could finish this conversation. Then I want to talk about employment and working and what I did with like YouTube.
Yeah,
and
we should
stuff.
probably try to keep this under an hour.
Oh yeah, we have like 8 minutes left.
No, we have.
7.
No, we're at
minutes.
46 minutes.
Oh, I'm looking at the Skype time. It's because we spent like 10 minutes trying to figure this
Yeah.
out.
We have like, I mean, I can go slightly over an hour, but yeah, let's just start talking about the employment part.
Okay, yeah. So people make a lot of money on YouTube,
Yeah.
right? I have 4,000 subscribers on
Yes.
YouTube. There was a point in time where my channel growth was actually pretty good, but I made cubing videos every once in a while, but I was mainly a vlogger. Like, and I was really good. I wasn't like really
Yeah.
good, but I was comfortable and people enjoyed my vlogs. And I really regret not staying with it. Like, I really regret not continuing doing that because I could probably be making some pretty decent money from YouTube now.
Yeah.
And the reason I stopped is because a bunch of people from my school like saw my videos and were roasting me for it, and I was like, "Fuck this," and I just stopped making videos.
Yeah, I mean,
I had 4.5 thousand subs at one point, and now but just tons of people unsubscribed. I have 4,000
could-
now. I actually just made a video recently, and I was rusty as fuck. Oh my god! Like I used to be really good at like just getting in front of the camera, just one take and done.
yeah.
I did like so many takes on my most recent video, and it still wasn't good.
I haven't
in
seen
my
your
opinion.
most recent video.
It was about Hoya method
Oh.
and like a new variation. That
I
came up
saw it, but I didn't watch it yet because I don't do Hoya. But
because you don't use. Yeah,
I mean,
there's no
I'm
really
interested
point.
in seeing it and seeing what you have to say, but I just haven't watched it yet.
There's really no practical application that I can think of for a reduction because it's more just like a mindset, thinking about the pieces in a different way and then using that and applying it to a couple steps in Hoya. But there's really no way I see that being applied to reduction or maybe
We
even
should
Yao.
we should
Maybe
also
Yao,
mention
but,
that Hoya is a method for solving what 4x4 and bigger cubes.
I use it for 4
Yeah.
through 7. I average like 240 something with Hoya on 6x6.
Yeah, I mean like yeah, so it's just a method for solving cubes, and so Joey posted a video on his variation on a Hoya method, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. I don't know. I mean, the most dominant thing is reduction, which is on a big cube where you solve the centerpieces of a cube, then you solve the edges of a cube, and then you solve the corners. I can't really think of.
You solve the edges and then the corners.
Oh yeah, you don't solve the corners. Sorry. You solve the centers, and you solve the edges, and then basically what you're left with is a giant 3x3, and then you just solve it. If you're interested, just look up a video on how reduction works. This is a bad explanation, but anyways, I don't.
Solving the corners is the fastest step of reduction.
Shut up. It was a mistake. I realized it. I corrected myself.
That's good. Okay. We're getting used to being on camera, being recorded again.
Yeah, I just remember when before we did this, we were like,
Just
should we make this cubing themed or not? And we are like, we'll go back and forth. I
it totally was cubing themed the whole time.
I feel like the next episode and the rest of this podcast should just be complete talking of non-cubing.
Yeah, I mean we can go cubing if you want, like back and forth if you want.
Yeah, we'll just. I feel like it would be a good segment just to talk about it every once in a while.
Yeah, yeah. It's just we should probably stay off it because when you were talking about world championships and like records and stuff like that, I had no idea what was going on. Like I'm still pretty integrated in the cubing community, but I don't really follow like the records
Yeah,
anymore.
that's crazy. I mean, like I
don't really know who has these records anymore.
that's such a weird thing because like I remember I used to know.
I'm washed
I used
up.
to know.
I'm a washed up speed
I used to
cuber.
know every cube that was coming out.
Oh, I just those days
Yeah.
are long
Now
gone.
I just like log into a cube store and I'm just like, when did these 20 cubes just get here all of a sudden?
Now I just post in CF like, hey, what's the best cube now?
Oh my! You just keep mentioning things that people would have no idea about. Like CF.
Yeah.
CF is, in short, it's just a giant group with a bunch of cubers.
We should just post this in CF.
Oh,
to be
yeah, we're
honest,
going
'cause
to.
That's probably where most of the views would come from.
I was also going to post it in a group chat that we have with like 60 people.
Go for it.
I
don't
mean,
care.
we can both post it. I mean, to tell you the truth, I think more people know you in the community, so you're going to have to post the video. I'll upload it to YouTube and then you just post the video in CF. I'll post it too, but most people will go to yours.
Yo, should we post it on my channel? Because I have 4,000 subs.
That's like your choice.
We can figure that out after the fact. That can be some behind the scenes, some BTS.
I guess. A green bug just flew on me and I killed it.
Oh, don't kill bugs.
I mean, hey, if
the only bugs you can kill are like stink bugs and beetles. Everything else, I don't kill.
okay, so here's the thing. People
Oh, I have a fucked bug story. If you want
right
to
after
hear
I say
it.
my thing.
It's so bad. Okay.
So people complain about how products are tested on animals.
Yes.
If I'm buying like a product like Raid, I want them
Yeah.
to test it on animals. Specifically bugs.
Well, I don't think that's what they mean by animal. I think they mean like with makeup and rabbits and stuff
no,
like that.
dude, I've
Like makeup
I've
products.
literally seen on like not specifically Raid cans, but like insect killing cans. It has a note that says not tested on animals. And I'm just like, then how do you know it works? Like,
chemistry.
it's biology.
It's biology. It's biochemistry.
Why you should test it? Like,
I mean, if the point of the product is to kill an insect, then I don't see what the problem is. When I think of animal testing, I think of mostly makeup products and various other things that they test on like rabbits or any other sort of like
all right,
rodent.
so
on rats and on monkeys even. They test on monkeys. I think that's fucked up.
yeah,
Even on pigs. Like, all right, so
man, we went down this rabbit
I-
hole real fast.
I told myself I was going to become vegetarian when I went to college, and I still haven't done it, and I feel like shit. Because, like, you really should. Like, you definitely should be vegetarian if you can.
Okay, we're changing the topic. What's your bug story?
All right, so there's these bugs called, I don't think this is the formal name, it's definitely not the scientific name, but they're called earwigs.
Okay, here, hold on.
There are
You
these
continue.
sort
I'm gonna look up what it looks like.
Okay. They're pretty big, and I didn't know what they were until my mom told me that her brother used to tease them about them, but this was after the fact when I told her the story.
Oh, I know what those are.
I was like, they're creepy,
yeah,
right?
here. So if you don't know what an earwig
And
looks
they're-
like, it's like it's basically looks like sort of like an ant, but with pinchers at its tail, sort of. That's a very
Yeah,
rough
and
description.
It's long. And it's long,
Yeah.
too. They're big. All right, so I was outside doing whatever I do outside. I come inside, and I'm just, like, laying in bed, and I feel something crawling on the side of my face, and, like, it was, like, slow motion. It was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Like, and then I slapped the side of my face, and it jumped, and it just went in my ear, and it was just fucking barrel ass, like, going into my ear, and I'm like, fuck, this is not good. I stick my finger in my ear, and I, like, pinch it down by the tail so that I couldn't go any further.
Oh.
and I had to take my other hand and just like grab it out, and I had one chance because as soon as I lift my finger up, this thing's just gonna burrow further into my ear. So I lifted my finger up, I grabbed it, and I was able to pull it out of my ear. It was huge. I just crushed it like in my hand, like just took it and crushed it.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy because if I didn't stop that, that would have went in my ear, and I maybe would have had to go to the hospital to get it out. Because like I didn't know those things even existed. Like I didn't know there were bugs. I knew there were bugs that burrow into your ear, but I didn't know they were that big.
Yeah. It also says here that they produce a foul-smelling liquid that they use for their own defense.
Uh, I wouldn't know because I just crushed that shit up and threw it. I was shook.
You were shook.
I was shook.
I can't.
And I told that story to my mom, and she was like, "Oh my god," she was shook too just by hearing the story because she said that her older brother used to tease her about how earwigs would come get her when she was sleeping or whatever.
Yeah.
And now she's even more shook because it actually happened to me.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was so bad though.
Oh my god.
And I'm usually not that afraid of bugs, but that was fucked.
I came across a rattlesnake once. Yeah.
Really?
So I like to.
in
Yeah.
Connecticut.
Okay. So there's in the Northeast there's only like one type of venomous snake, and that's a timber rattler, which is a type of rattlesnake.
Uh-huh.
Now they normally don't attack people. They have to be provoked. So if you see one, you can normally just leave it alone and you'll be fine. So
Yeah.
I was hiking, which I like to do a lot, and in my area there's a bunch of hiking spots, and that's where the rattlesnakes.
And not many
Yeah, not
McDonald's.
less McDonald's, more mountains.
Lots of hiking. More yes.
So that's where the timber rattlers mainly are on the mountains. So I was hiking, and I was walking up to the peak, and I like to do what's called night hiking, where you hike up to get to the peak for sunset, and then you hike back down
Yeah.
as it gets darker and darker. And normally I go on this hour-long hike, I get up, watch the sunset, and by the way I'm walking halfway down, or by the time that I'm walking halfway down, it starts getting really dark to the point where I need a flashlight. But it's coming up to sunset. I'm up near the peak, and like there's a bunch of different spots at the peak where you can go and walk to go see different things. There's a bunch of different viewpoints,
Yeah.
and like I got up there, like really fast for some reason, like 5 minutes fast, or not 5 minutes fast, but like 10 minutes fast. So I had time to kill before the sunset really happened, and I could take pictures of it. So I started walking to all these different places, looking at the views, and just on my way to one of the places, I was just walking, and I looked down, and like 3 feet away from my foot is a timber rattler. Now,
Oh, that's not good. Was it like prepared to attack, or was it just like laying there?
it was laying there. It wasn't coiled up.
Okay.
So the other thing is I'm not afraid of snakes. So
I love snakes. I
yeah,
think snakes are pretty
and like
cool.
I've
Obviously, I'd be afraid if it was about to attack
Yeah.
me. But like, other than that,
but
I
I
think
mean
they're
like
pretty cool.
I know that they're not dangerous. I mean they're dangerous in the sense if you screw with them, but I know they're not dangerous if you get close to them and then you slowly back away. And like
Uh-huh.
I could tell that it was uncomfortable because like I was close to it and like it was watching me, but its
Yeah.
tail wasn't rattling and I just walked away slowly. And I
Okay.
mean, the thing was big. Like I didn't know that rattlesnakes got
That's
that
a-
big. It was impressive. Like that thing.
Like how big? How big is big? We need some
Oh,
measurements.
dude, I feel like I'm going to overestimate it in my head now because like in reality it's probably like at most 3 feet, but I'm gonna say it's
Oh yeah, it's probably small, and you were like, just like so shook. You're like, oh my god, it was like 15 feet long.
no yeah. I'm gonna look up what the average length is. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure it was only like 3 or 4 feet.
Okay, it's funny because I had a similar run-in with a quote-unquote dangerous. It wasn't really dangerous, but I had a similar run-in with an animal like that I'll tell you after we're done with the snakes, and then we could probably wrap up the
Yeah. Okay. So it
podcast.
measures from 3 to 4.5 feet.
Okay, so that's still pretty
Yeah. No.
big.
No. I'm not debating that these things are big. I just didn't
Yeah.
want to overestimate it and go. It was a 10-foot python.
It was a 10-foot. I wrestled the 10-foot python to the
I'm
death.
Steve Irwin reincarnated.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. 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 You handled that situation pretty well, it seems. Because I had a run-in with Okay, so a little bit of backstory. There's this place near where I live where I go to play Pokemon Go. Yes, I'm a loser. I'm a dumbass. I still play Pokemon Go. You can roast me in the comments if
We
you want. I was playing Pokemon Go at this place that I normally go to. And so I'm on my phone just catching some Pidgeys or some rats or whatever. I look up from my phone and just fucking like 2 feet in front of my feet, there's a fucking family of skunks. And it was like slow motion. It was like, oh shit. And instead of walking away like you, I booked it. I was out of there. I was gone. It was not good. Cause like, I know you could like die if you get bit by a venomous snake, but at least you're dead.
yeah.
I don't want to smell bad. I don't want to have to walk home or be driven home and I smell bad and I have to just sit like a dumbass in a tub of tomato oil or whatever.
Tomato oil.
Like that's whatever. That's just depressing. Like, but it was bad. And the skunks, they were cute. They're cute animals, but they have this unfortunate weapon that makes them so undesirable by so many people. Like they were so cute. They were running around, and I was like admiring them from like after I ran away, I was admiring them from a distance, and I was like I kind of overreacted to that. But like I don't want to be sprayed. It was because it was like a mother. I assume it could have been a dad. You can't really tell the difference. But like it was like a big skunk and two little baby skunks.
I can't believe you ran into those.
It's funny too because I had run into a skunk previously, like a couple weeks before. Like they just live on the campus of this place where I go to play Pokemon.
Yeah.
But I didn't get nearly as close the other time. The other time I was like 15 feet away, and I was like, I'm just gonna keep my distance. This time I just like walked right up on him because I wasn't paying attention like a dumbass, and I was like, I gotta go.
Okay, I think we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah, that's a good way to end
I
it.
mean, we should also mention that we started recording this at like 11:40 at night. So it is currently 12:45.
Uh-huh.
So I'm planning
So-
not to cut I'm going to cut very minimal out of this.
That's a great idea.
Like you're going to hear a whole bunch of background noises too. That's unfortunate, but hey.
Okay. Hopefully that would be so unfortunate if my fan was loud in this recording.
Oh my god,
too.
because I can hear it blasting in my ears right now through Skype. So like, I'm just really hoping. The thing that I was really terrified was that you weren't going to be checking your phone regularly, and then like we get to the end, and then you turn it on, and it's just not recording.
Oh, I just turned it on and it was recording and I was like, thank the Lord.
I've been just keeping. I just turned my screen on to always on mode. Okay.
I don't even know how to do
So
that.
I guess until next
Anyways.
time.
Yeah, until next time. Bye.
Bye.
Everybody.